What's up out there, everybody? I'm your host, Alan. Well, as the NBA playoffs continue to move forward, headed towards an eventual champion, the debate continues to rage on. Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and the late great Kobe Bryant. They all three constantly are brought up about who's the GOAT. One's always seemingly left out, and people don't like it. Where the other two, they're always in the forefront of who's the greatest player of all times. We're going to discuss that today. Sit back, relax. Let's jump right into this thing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as the NBA playoffs continue to move forward, the debate continues about who's the greatest NBA player of all times. LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, just to name a few. But for most of us, we always hear the debate about LeBron James and Michael Jordan. A lot of people always wonder why is Kobe Bryant always left off of Mount Rushmore. A couple of days ago, Stephen A. Smith and Gil's Arenas and the guys all had a discussion about it. We're going to weigh in on it, and I'm going to tell you my thoughts on who really is the GOAT and who sits atop Mount Rushmore of the NBA. Well, the NBA has several players that we can put on the Mount Rushmore. For me, I'm going to say that it's Michael Jordan. I'm going to say this Michael Jordan. I'm going to try not to go deeply into stats with this. I'm going to go by what most of us people, most of us fans out there really want to go by in the modern day times, other than stats and other than analytics. We want to go about what we've seen. Now, if you're old enough, then you've seen them all. If you're 20 years old and know you haven't seen Michael Jordan play, only thing you've seen is highlights. If you're just a little bit younger than that, or maybe a few years older than that, you really don't have a true assessment of Kobe Bryant. All you really know is what you've seen from LeBron James. And LeBron James undoubtedly is one of the greatest NBA players of all times. But for me, it's Michael Jordan. Now, the question I have to you is, if we constantly hear that the closest thing that we've seen to Michael Jordan is Kobe Bryant. Over and over again, we say that Michael Jordan's 1 and 1A and Kobe Bryant's 1B. Well, if Kobe Bryant's 1B and he's the closest thing to what the one who we consider to be the GOAT, then how can Kobe Bryant on most lists be 5, 6, 7, 8, and some dumb places have Kobe Bryant not even in the top 10? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Now, who's got the most shots in the clutch? Well, that's a stat within itself. And that's going to be LeBron James. But overall, for me, it's about the defensive prowess and about being a complete player. Now, I don't want to take anything away from either one of them, but when it comes to the top of that list, we know that Michael Jordan accomplished things on the defensive side of the basketball court just as well as the offensive side, along with Kobe Bryant. LeBron James is a good defensive player, but not a great defensive player like his two cohorts or two counterparts. Now, LeBron James stands at 6'9", 260 pounds, and he plays power basketball. He can play just about every position, or he can play every position on the court. Now, should you take that and hold that against Kobe Bryant, because he couldn't play the center position. No, you can't hold that against him. You have to go by what you see from your eye test. Once again, if you're not old enough to know, if you're not old enough to be able to see him, then you will instantly say that it's LeBron James. But when it comes to overall basketball players, those two guys, LeBron James was a great offensive player, but nobody comes to mind when you talk about scoring like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. You can go back and look at highlights and you can see where these two guys, they played the same exact way. Kobe Bryant modeled his game after Michael Jordan. What's the best form of flattery? Imitation. It's the best form of flattery. And Kobe Bryant not only imitated Michael Jordan, but he took it to another level. He was a better outside shooter, although Mike didn't have to shoot from outside all of the time. Mike was a different type of player when it comes to that. Now, I will give LeBron James his credit and credit due. Phenomenal basketball player who continues to do his thing at over 40 years old. But that doesn't make him the great. Longevity doesn't make you the great. Longevity doesn't push another player out of the way just because you want to say that that player is better because he played longer. Because if that's the case, then you can go back and look at the times that Michael Jordan dominated basketball within a 7-8 year span. Michael Jordan won 6 titles. He won 6 titles. If you want to hold against Kobe Bryant that he played against Shaquille O'Neal, then you need to hold it against Shaquille O'Neal because he also played with Kobe Bryant. If you want to hold that against them, you've got to hold it against LeBron James because LeBron James played with Dwayne Wade. He played with Chris Bosh. He played with some of the all-time greats. So no, you can't do that. You can't move the goalposts. You can't move the goalposts. We want to just go by what we've seen. And as a 60-year-old adult, I can tell you right now that the greatest basketball player I've seen is Michael Jordan. And the second greatest basketball player I've seen is Kobe Bryant. And that's no disrespect to LeBron James. Because now, let's keep it real. There are other players like the great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the only player in the history of the NBA who had a shot that we considered the skyhook that was an unstoppable shot. What about Tim Duncan, who most considered the greatest power forward of all times? So when it comes to that, what have you seen? Have you seen something to really take LeBron James and move him over Kobe Bryant? Have you? And once again, I'm going to ask you, if Kobe Bryant is the closest thing that we've seen to Michael Jordan, how can he not be the number 2 player to ever play in a National Basketball Association? Doesn't work like that, ladies and gentlemen. It just doesn't work like that. But in sports has a way of continuing to have narrative after narrative and things for us to discuss and debate and stand by the water cooler, stand in your office or whatever it may be where you're debating it. And that's the greatness of sports. And when it comes to these 3 phenomenal athletes, the debate will continue to rage on. The only thing is the great Kobe Bryant can't speak for himself right now. It has to be somebody else speaking for him. MJ's not going to say anything in it at all. Well, I take that back. You know MJ's thoughts about the GOAT. He doesn't believe in the GOAT. The only person that we've heard say that out of the 3 greats is LeBron James. And that's it. He has a right to his opinion. So, as we continue to move forward and as the debate goes on, let's always remember there's nothing really wrong with not being considered the greatest. There's nothing wrong with being number 2. There's nothing wrong with being number 3. We as fans, we appreciate greatness. And all 3 of these individuals are some of the greatest athletes we'll ever see. This is Alan, D9J Sports, the Midday Drive. See you this evening. Appreciate you stopping by. Hit the like and subscribe and donate button so we can keep this thing rolling. I'm definitely OUT.